For section 4, you need to do tutorial 3, question 3 minimum. Maybe I will add more exercise later on. If I have the time, I will add more exercise to e-learning for you to do before coming to class. For section 3, they have no problem because their tutorial is on Thursday. They have a good gap. Section 4 doesn't have. Today your lecture, tomorrow tutorial already. Okay. So, okay, let's restart. I start recording already. Okay, so signal and system, chapter 3, part 3. I didn't share yet, chapter 3, part 1, recorded lecture. I will share it today, okay? So, this we have been through on the introduction, definition of Fourier transform. Okay, Fourier transform is actually we transform our time domain non-periodic signal into frequency domain. Okay, omega domain. Okay, you can call, and then sometimes we call it a spectral line of spectral. They are all means the same. Okay, and then you also been introduced to Fourier transform properties. This one is the third part of the chapter. I mean, still inside the second part of the chapter 3. And then this is today is actually the last one. Okay, the last one, which is Fourier transform application. Okay, Fourier transform application. So every time I try to change the photo here, just to make my slide, to give you a bit like refresh to your eye. Okay, so I don't know where is this event. So this one is inshallah for those juniors that never been in UTM physically. Hopefully next semester you will be able to enter UTM physically, so you can actually have university life, the normal university life, making friends, group work, lepak-lepak at cafe, do group assignment whatsoever. Okay, so application of Fourier transform. So we will learn about the application of this Fourier transform, because in order to help you to appreciate with whatever thing that you learn, right? You need to know the application. Otherwise, you just like, okay, this is it, but you don't know what is it for. Okay. So, okay. So first is the filters. Okay, the word filters mean where is my Google Meet? Okay, the word filters mean the word itself means that we allow something and we filter out something. Means we allow something and we block something, right? The word filter is already self-explanatory. What is it, filter? Just like when you try to make coffee or try to make tea from the tea leaf. So you filter out the tea, but you take the water, right? Okay. And this one is amplitude modulations. Okay, you will learn this modulations, I think, maybe in principle of communication. I'm not sure. I think this one in principle of communication, and because I didn't teach modulation principle of communication yet, I think this will be covered more wider scope in the principle of communication, modulation. So this is amplitude modulations, one of it. Okay. We have a lot of modulation. We have frequency modulation, and we have many other type of modulation. So this amplitude modulation is actually we want to send signal that I told you guys to further distance. For example, if our voice is just a low frequency hertz, So here is my snipping tool. Wait for one. Pain. Okay, so we have C. This one, you know this equation since you're in school, C equals to F lambda. Okay, so then you rearrange, then you have lambda C over F. Okay, so if the frequency is small, then the size of the wavelength is bigger. So if your voice is low in frequency, And if you want to transmit signal, lambda is actually the wavelength in meter. So if you transmit if you want to transmit low frequency signal, you need a very big antenna to transmit. For example, if you want, for example, this one is just an analogy. If you want to transmit your voice, okay, because it's low in hertz, maybe you will need antenna at the size of a kilometer. You know, do you see antenna kilometer in size? No, right? This one. So one of the way is actually to amplitude modulate the signal. What we do in the amplitude modulation is that we introduce carrier signal. Okay, we introduce carrier signal. Okay, this is your message signal or information signal. Okay, or this is the message frequency, and this is your signals. Okay, this one is, you can call it message or information whatsoever, but it's usually low in hertz. Then we introduce the carrier. Okay, we introduce the carrier. And when we introduce the carrier, carrier is actually high frequency. Okay, so when we introduce the carrier, the new signal will be in high frequency. So when the new signal in high frequency, when you have high frequency, then your lambda will be smaller. Okay, so you can send your voice, for example, even from your phone. Okay, your phone. That's why you have antenna inside in the phone also. So you only need maybe only very little antenna just to transmit your voice. Okay, compared to this one. Okay, that's why one of the way why we need we do amplitude modulation, and this multiplexing is multiply. Okay. Okay. So this one okay. Filter is process by which the essential and useful part of signal separated from undesirable and extraneous components. They are generally referred to as noise. Okay. So filters actually separate two things. One is the error or erroneous. Okay, that you are not extraneous components, erroneous, whatever they call it, noise, and undesirable. Okay. Okay. 2 minutes because azan. Okay, we continue. So signal filtering, okay, so we separate it to separate undesirables. Sometimes, for example, if you want to separate, for example, if you want lower frequency signal, so you have to filter out the higher frequency signal. So what you need a filter. So in this case it is low pass filter. By the word itself, you already know low pass filter means only passing the low and blocking the higher. Okay, the range of frequency that pass through the frequency is called the pass band. Okay, this one is logic also, pass band. Okay, band is actually the range. So this the range of for the pass frequency, whereas the one that performing the block, which is stop band. Okay, the range of frequency that is actually stopping the signals. Okay, so the most common type of filters are high pass, low pass, band stop. Okay, HPF, LPF, BPF, BSF. Okay, so high pass filters. Okay, so if you see, you can read this one on your own. I don't want to. This is already evening. Better I just explain on the concept rather than the just reading. Okay, wait, man. Okay, so if you see the signals, okay, this is a high pass filter. High pass filter means we have ideal case and we have practical case. As you guys know, okay, ideal doesn't happen in real life. Okay, it's just ideal. Right? Why there is two azan? Oh, never mind. Okay, so high pass filter means we have when we discuss about filter, we have ideal type of filters and we have the practical type of filter. Practical means the one that actually you will get commonly, and ideal is actually is the ideal case. Normally, like what we call is macam don't really happen. Oh, why is azan two times? I don't know. Okay, so here is the ideal case. Okay, this is your ideal case. And this is actually your practical case. Okay, so if you see the ideal case is actually this one for the high pass filter means it's only allowing the higher frequency to pass through and blocking the lower frequency. So this is actually in the domain. Okay, make sure you guys know the label. Okay, so if you see this is WC. Okay, WC is what we call as a cutoff frequency. Okay, cutoff frequency. And if you see in the ideal frequency, the signal is actually 90-degree cut off means perfectly cut. For example, if this is 400, then definitely from 400 megahertz, all frequency is allowed, and definitely lower than 400 megahertz is not allowed. Okay, but this is ideal case. We don't have this kind of ideal filter in real life. We don't have. Okay, what we normally have is this kind of filters. Okay, so actually we have some slope or some gradients. Okay, here. Okay, for to help you to determine the cutoff frequency. Okay, normally it's like I'm challenge. My voice is like trying to berlawan dengan bunyi azan. But tadi memang ada bunyi azan. I don't know why. Okay. Where was I? Okay. So here is actually the the wait. Okay, finally. Okay, so okay. Mana saya tadi dah lupa dah saya. Okay, okay, so there is a gradient. okay, there is a gradient here. So actually you cannot get a flat like this. This is the HO1. So this is your cutoff frequency, okay, cutoff frequency. So actually you need to see from the 3 dB, okay, 3 dB from 0 dB to 3 dB, okay. Starting from here will be your cutoff frequency. So 3 dB is actually the signal when it is around 50%, 50% of the normalized. For example, in this graph is 50% of normalized output power. You see here, 1.0. 1.0 doesn't mean 1 watt. It means like 100%, okay. And this is 0.5, okay. This one is 0.5 means 50%. And then this is 3 dB, 3 decibel. Okay, maybe you guys can try your calculator. Okay, for example, if you want to have the number in the decibel, okay, where is my calculator? My calculator is in the back. Okay, so 10 log x linear. Okay, linear. So let's say the linear is 50%. Okay, 0.5. So try to put here 10 log 0.5. What do you get, everyone? 10 log 0.5. What do you get? This one is I teach you guys. Otherwise, you just simply take what it is and you don't understand what it is. What is this number? I'm not sure. In Google Chat, what is this? 10 log 0.5. What does it? What is it? Try to put here 0.5. Okay, only Jawan calculate. The rest I don't know what you do. Okay. Okay, so that's why. Okay, that's the logic. Okay, that's the logic why we use 3 dB here. Because it means that from 0 and going down 50% of the power. 50% of the power, 0.5. Okay. So this is X in dB scale, in decibel scale. Okay. So that's why this number, 3 dB. So not simply put there. So means half of the maximum value. Okay. So this is the low pass filters. Okay. On contradictorily, it actually passed the lower frequency and it actually stopped the higher frequency. Okay. The same as well. We have the cutoff frequency. You can see here. Now they use different graph. Okay, actually you can use okay, you can see there is a lot the many kind of graph, but at least you actually need to understand the basic. So you see here that this is the 3 dB. Okay, the 3 dB point here means from 100% until 50% of its value. So then you can know where is the frequency. Okay, here. They can use the word gain because filter you have you can later transfer function of a transfer function. We will refer the multiplication value as a gain. Okay, so here is the bandpass filter and okay, already I already explained. Okay, I already explained, so I don't need to what is this? Oh, sorry, this one is band pass. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. I thought it's high pass filter and so on. Wait. Okay. Wait. I'm rearranging my screen. Okay, so bandpass filters. Okay, so bandpass filter. Okay, if you see the low pass filter, okay, the high pass filter that you learned just now. Oh, very difficult actually using online class. Okay, never mind. So okay, high pass filter is actually allowing the high frequency, right? And the low pass filter is actually allowing the uh, low frequency. Okay. Okay. This is the pass band for the high pass filters, and this one is a pass band for the low for the sorry, this one is pass band for high pass filter. This one is pass band for low pass filter. So actually the word here band pass filter and band stop filter is actually okay. When I try to okay. So band pass filter mean they will pass some band and they will not allow I mean they will pass most of the band, okay? Some bands, okay? So you see band pass filter is actually here I just put like this so that you can see the wording but doesn't mean this is BPF here, okay? So you have BSF here. Okay, so band pass filter is actually they actually allow they will pass some frequency and the other they reject, and band stop frequency is the contradict. Band stop frequency is actually they going to allow all other frequency and they stop some frequency. Okay, understand? Band pass it pass some frequency, and band stop it stop some frequency. Okay, for example, how I put like this, okay. They say this is the range of frequency that is allow. All means all in this case is all allow. Okay, all allow. So now we see the band pass filter. Okay, band pass filter it allows some of the frequency. Okay. For example, here, okay, means it only allow frequency in this range. Okay, frequency in this range. So you have okay, something like this. Normally we will have later on you will learn why I draw like a duplicate because we have two. We usually when we solve later on we will actually have image. One is the it's not image. One is the higher and one is the lower, because later on you will learn is actually, for example, 1 omega minus omega, something like this. Okay, then this one is 1 plus omega, omega plus omega c. This one is omega minus omega c, for example. So here for the band pass filter you have WC1, for example, and WC2. Okay. Oh, it's really difficult. I hope we will go to physical class as soon as possible. Lecture also not that easy, you see, just for me to draw. Okay, so this is actually the band pass filters. Okay, and then for the band stop filter is that, for example, we want to stop frequency at this range. Okay, so we want to stop focus at this range. Okay, so they are a bit different. Band pass and band stop. Okay, the same also we will have some classification of the frequency that is going to be stopped or frequency that is going to be passed. Okay. Okay. You can see the difference. I hope you can see the difference. This one is actually like this, band stop, and this one is actually like going like this. Okay. Okay. Where's my slide? Because one of the student, they say one of the reason that they say they drop, because they say to me that online class is difficult. Trust me, lecture also even more difficult to teach, to prepare, to record online class. Okay. Yes, but we have to get through it, because nothing we can do. It's COVID. Okay. So okay, so here is the application of high pass filter, for example. So with I snapping again this one. Okay, and actually when I'm changing screen, I'm changing screen because I'm going to use my touch screen with the pen, so it's more easier. I'm struggling actually just to show the page. Okay, wait for a while. Okay, I push here. Okay. Okay, so I hope the page is now there. Okay. Okay, so you can see, okay, two signals. You can see this one, you need to refer to your table. Okay. Oops. You need to refer to your table. Actually, for this subject, you always need to refer to table, and you will use some identities. So make sure, if you have a good trigonometric knowledge, okay, since your school, secondary school, I'm not sure if the foreign students, how is you when you study trigonometry, but in Malaysian, you have studied trigonometry since your SPM. So if you actually excellent in trigonometry, it will help you to solve the question a bit faster, because rather than keep on looking at the table. Okay. So here is the trigonometry here, you can see, and this is actually the from the table. Okay. So you see here, two signals have been multiplied together that yields G1, G2, and G3. Okay. Where can I draw? I hope. Okay. So if you can see here, okay, cannot. Okay, if you can see here, for example, if you have multiplier here, it's not really multiplier. Like, it's actually we can refer it, for example, like just like multiplier in a sense, because in frequency domain it will be like a multiplier. Okay, so here is actually, you can see here is actually your G1. Okay, and then this is actually your G2. Okay, I don't have enough space. Hope you understand why I don't write completely. This is your G2, and then this is your G3. Okay, so in order to get your G3, G1 and G2 have to be multiplied. So it is given that this is your G1 and this is your G2. Okay, you multiply them together. You see here, you multiply them together. So 2 plus 5 is 10. Okay, and then you have cos 200 pi t times cos 1000 pi t. So we don't have this actually to write. We need to solve it using trigonometries. So you can see here, right? Cos A, cos B. So that's why you use this. Okay, cos A, cos B, which actually result in half of half. So that's why you have 10 divided by 2, 5. And then you have A plus B, 200 plus 1000. That's why you have 1200. And then 1000 minus 200. That's why you have 800. Okay. So assume certain application requires G4, okay, which can be obtained using high pass filters. Okay. So assume certain application requires only 1200. Okay. So if you see if you notice, the signal from the G3 consists of lower frequency, which is 800 pi and 1200 pi t. Okay. If you notice. So okay, I share this page first. Okay, if you look to your table, okay, if you look for your table, if you see cosine function, okay, if you see cosine function is actually cos pi t, okay, and then if you want to convert to the frequency domain, you have pi delta, okay, impulse, omega minus omega naught plus omega plus impulse omega plus omega naught. Okay, I don't have space to put there. Okay, but you can see this one, right? Cos function, cosine, Okay, actually pi in the frequency domain, impulse, omega minus omega naught, and omega plus omega naught. Okay. So, okay, using table C.2, the Fourier transform all these signals are, okay, so you get this one, okay, the one that I showed just now, okay. Okay, you get this one. And then, this is your G3, okay, this is your G3. Remember, you will convert this one as using the table, so you will have 4 value, okay, because this one is actually this one, okay, and this one is actually this one, okay, for your G3, okay. Then wait, susahnya. Okay, where was I? Okay, so you have the G4 and G3. You can look at your slide. Okay, you can look at your slide because some are already in the slide. Okay, I need to see the sound. Okay, so this is the G omega. You have the G omega. G omega. Okay, G omega for the G4. Okay, I will use just like this. G4 doesn't, this one is not correct because I want to save space. Okay, so you have the G4 is actually 3 pi impulse of omega minus 1200 pi, okay, plus impulse omega plus 1200 pi, okay. And then you have your G3, okay. G3 is longer, 5 pi and something. Okay, 5 pi. Because G5 is actually consists of 1200 pi component and 800 pi components. Okay, so here is plus 1200 pi. Okay, and then you have another plus, okay, which is 5 pi and the component of 800 pi. Okay. Can you unmute? Can you mute? The one that actually unmute. Can you unmute? Can you mute? Okay. So this is actually the signals. Okay, but the signal actually requires the output which is consists only this one. Okay. So it's actually high pass filter. So we want to actually remove the low frequency. That's why we call it as a low pass filters. Okay, low pass filters. So when you draw the filters, not sure is it already in the example? The continue? Oh, okay, it's already in the example. Okay, never mind. Okay, okay. If you draw, okay, it's only one the high pass filters. It might mean high pass filter or something like this. Okay, something like this to allow the to draw the function of your filters. Okay, okay, this is your filter transfer function. Okay, your filters. So this is your omega C and omega C here. Okay, so since it's only cover high frequency, so it will block the low frequency. So you must make sure actually that your omega C is actually much more greater than 800 pi. Why? Because we want to take higher frequency and not the lower frequency, because if you put lower than 800 pi means it will cover 800 pi as well. So we don't want that. So this one, make sure it is greater than 800 pi. Okay. Okay, and then if you see the signal, if you see it mentioned that it requires 3 cos something, and then if you see that your G3 is 5, okay. If you notice that this one is 5, and you see this one is 3, okay, and the output, okay, the output wanted is actually 3, okay, is actually 3. So the gain of your filters, okay, multiply with the 5 here, okay, 5 pi, okay, 5 pi amplitude, sorry, 5 pi, okay, and then the output required is 3 pi, okay. So that's why A equals to 3 pi over 5 pi, then you get 3 over 5, okay. 3 over 5 is 0.6, right? So that's why here is 0.6, okay. I'm not sure if whether it's shown here in the okay, it is shown 0.6. Okay, it is shown it is 0.6. Okay, so 0.6. And then actually you can okay, and then you need to know how to obtain this kind of filter. This filter is actually, if you do if you do your signal, you learn from chapter 1 and chapter 2, I think as well. So actually this one is originally a straight line, okay, which consists of maybe 1, okay, for example, and then you need to minus with rectangular, okay, you need to minus with rectangular in order to have the output signal which is like this, okay, understand? You need to means 1 minus the rectangular, only this you obtain the function of the filters, I mean the graphical of the filters, okay. Then 1 minus rectangular, okay, rectangular, and the function inside, okay, and then 0.6. 0.6. Why 0.6? Need to times 0.6 because your filters is 0.6 here, okay, H omega, okay. And actually, and then how to write inside here, no, in the time domain that you learn is tau something, right? So here is actually omega over 2 omega c, okay, 2 omega c, okay, because you can see, right, there is this one, you can see from the analogy with tau over 2, okay, you can see the analogy with tau over 2, okay. So that's why we have here 2 omega c, okay, we have here 2 omega c, okay. Okay, susah pula, okay. Sorry, this was for online class. Hopefully you have better class experience next semester. So that's why we have this value. That's why we have this value, which is 0.6. Okay, 0.6. Okay, and G4, G3, H1. Okay, this one is your output. This one is your signals, G3, which is the results of mana? Oh, I already waste my, okay. G1, G2, this is your G3. Okay, so this is your G3 here. Mana tadi? Okay, this is your G3, okay? And then going through high pass filters, then you get the output that you want, okay? Then H1 is actually the filters, okay? Transfer function, okay? We call it, okay, if the question told you transfer function, you should know what does it mean, okay? G4 over G3, then you get it, okay? This one, okay? Why is this? Okay, so I already explained here. It already explained it. Okay. Okay, then we go to the next application of an ideal. Okay, the word here is also ideal. Remember, it mentioned ideal. So if the question asks you to design, I'm not sure if they asked, but you should know. Okay, if they ask you practical pass filters, so you should know the 3 dB that I teach just now. Can you mute student? That can you mute because you still the whole class? Oh, who is this student? Okay. So who is it just now? Okay. So application of ideal low pass filter is in contrary, but it's almost the same. Okay, you can see here using the same signal as example one. Okay, so this signal, okay, the spectral line whatsoever. Assume the application now require a signal G5, which is in contradict. Now we want the low pass filters. Okay, so which this one will still be used. Huh? Okay, so now we want G5, which is the output. Now it's G5. Okay, you can see here G5 is actually G3. Okay, G3 is just now what you learned. Just now G3 is here. Okay, okay. Um, and then times with your transfer function. Time with a filters. Okay, there will be a filter here. Okay, filter. Okay, to get actually your finished signal. Okay. Here is G5 or G4, depends on the question. Now it's G5. Okay, so G5. So G5 equals to G3 times H omega. Okay, so G3 actually cos here. Okay, when you have the signal in terms of cos, you will have the the delta the impulse. The impulse, they will turn into an impulse. So it's this why we have like impulse here. Okay, so this is your D3. Okay, and H2 is 0.8 rec omega 2 omega C. So, okay. Do I need to explain? Is there already here? Okay. Um, okay, I think I need to explain, otherwise you guys understand. Okay, but never mind. This one first, you need to see this one first. There is error. Okay, there is error. Because the question is asking about low pass filters. Okay, low pass filters. So this one this one is wrong, because if it's low pass filter, if it's omega c greater than 800 pi, means it allow even the high pass filter. So you should put like omega. Okay. It should be like this. Huh? Please correct your slide. Huh? Okay. Means it should be below than 1200, because 1200, and from because if you put its omega c greater than 800, mean it will also allow the higher frequency. So the range is wrong. So it should be like omega c then 1200 pi. Okay. I don't know who is that student. Can you mute? Oh, okay. So I don't know how should I do this. I don't know who is the one that. Okay. So this is the signals. Okay. G3, G1, G2, G3, and this is your actually low pass filters. Okay. Who is that? Can you turn off, because you disturb the whole class? I cannot see which one. Huh? So it's actually Abdul Rahman Tahir. Abdul Rahman Tahir, you didn't mute for the second time, and you actually disturbed the whole class. Okay. I just mute you just now. I don't know how you listen to the class with the radio sound in the background. I really don't know, because even to listen from this is already disturbing. Okay, so here is omega c between 800 pi. Okay, where was I? So this why when student disturb is already like disturb my focus, in teaching. Where was I? Okay, so okay, I try to show. I try to show again. I try to show. When Okay, I screenshot, because if I screenshot, it will be save my time to type everything, and also we can finish earlier. Okay. Okay. So if you see this, okay, is low pass filter now. Okay, ideal low pass filters. Low pass filter, the ideal one is actually here. Okay, low pass filters means it's only past this one. So, but because we have positive and negative, or we have right and left side of the graph, so this is how your low pass filter look like later on. Okay. Okay, then you require output G5 here. Okay, you require output G5 here. So G5 is actually G5. Okay, then you have 4 in here. Okay, am I correct? You have 4 here. And then you have whatever inside the course here, you will convert into spectral lines. Okay, then to obtain G5, okay, to obtain G5 is actually, okay, just now the signals, wait, I refer to the previous. Okay, so the previous is actually G1, G2, right? Okay, from the previous high pass filters, and we have G3. Am I correct? Okay, and then it passed through a filters. Okay, and then you have now you have G5Y now as a output, because you want a low pass filter now. Okay, so this is G3 that you already get from the previous graph. You get from the previous graph, which is 5 pi. Okay, and then going to pass through the filter. So G3, sorry, G5 in omega. This one inside omega. This one also have omega, but I want to save space. So you have G3, and then you have the low pass filter, which is H. Okay, now you can use the word H2. Okay, this one is all with omega inside. I want to save space. Then to obtain your H2 is actually your G5 over your G3. Okay, so this is your G5. Okay, this is your G3. G3 is already given here. Okay, then you can determine your gain. Okay, this one we call this the gain. What is the gain of the filters? So you can see your G5 is actually what? Your G5 is 4 pi. Okay, your G5 is 4 pi. This one is the output. You want it to be 4 pi. Okay, and then your G3 is actually and then you have your gain of the filters. Okay, and G3 is actually here, which is actually 5 pi. Okay, and then the gain of the filter is actually 4 pi over 5 pi. So you have 0.8. Am I correct? 0.8. So that's why you have 0.8 here. Okay. And why is rectangular? Because it's a rectangular function. Okay. And then it's omega over 2 omega c. Okay. And this one correction, I already said just now. Okay. Okay. Abdul Rahman, I just want to ask you how you listen to the lecture with the radio turned on just now. I do because how you can you listen to my lecture if it's the radio turned on? I don't know. Maybe oh okay, your brother. Okay. Maybe you should you should kick him. Okay, so now we okay. So you guys can sorry for that for Abdul Rahman okay. Okay, so now we go to multiplication. Okay, I think you guys can understand this more if you try. You try first. Okay, this one I left blank because I want to remind myself that I need to demonstrate to the student. That's why I demonstrate. For me, of course, I understand, but I don't. If I don't demonstrate, student don't understand where is this number comes from. Okay. Then you have here. Okay. So this one is the multiplication of two signals. Okay. Okay. You see here, this the square law device. Okay, square law device, and this is your omega, and this is your xt equals to omega square t. Okay. So it's actually square law device means omega t times omega t. So if you see the question here, C1 omega t is actually C1 cos omega 1, C2 cos omega 2. So bear in mind means there is two frequency now. Two frequency which is omega 1 and omega 2. And xt, okay, xt which is here, the output is actually omega square t. So you need to square everything, okay? Wait. Okay. So I think you guys know, right? When you learn in your whatever in your primary in your school, a plus b square. Okay. What you will get? You will get a square plus what? Plus what? What here? Okay. So it's 2ab, correct. Okay. Good. If you don't answer me correctly, I will faint it, because how can you you pass engineering math and you cannot know this. Okay, so that's what you have here. Okay. That's what you have here. Okay. Okay. Then you need to use your trigonometric identities. Okay, this one if you don't remember, you can use from the table. Okay. I think this one is practice makes perfect because in exam, if you have less practice, you will keep on looking at table. I'm not discouraging you looking at table. That sometimes in exam we don't have time. Okay. So you see, this is from the table, half plus what cos 2 phi. Okay. And then this one is actually like this. Okay. Then you see here, this is half. Okay. And then you see here, there is C1. Don't forget there is C1. Don't be too nervous in the exam later on. You unable to see this one. Okay. This one you have C here. Okay. Then you have C1 here. Actually, multiplication is just actually is quite direct and easy, but the problem is tedious. Okay. Then you get your answer here in time domain, of course. Then you actually convert it to your frequency domain. Oh my god. Then you actually convert it to your frequency domain. This is actually quite direct, very direct, but the problem is tedious. Okay. So you can see from your slide, okay, if I don't know if I put in the slide, but there is trigonometry identities in your appendix. So this one is actually very direct. They say question can give you later on uh, power tree device whatsoever. Okay, or maybe square root, something like that lah. Okay, so signals can be multiplied. Okay, signal can be multiplied, can be added up, can be subtract. Okay, and then this one, the term that I remind just now. Okay, if we say the gain of the filter means this one, right? The gain. Okay, for example, this is your output. You want the magnitude output, and then this is your gain of your filter, and this is your input. So what is the gain of your filter? Is actually output over input. Okay, and then for the graph, okay, when you want to, for example, for this case of filter, it's actually rectangular, for example, and omega over 2 omega c. Okay, try to compare with the here tau over 2 with the standard rectangular that you learn. Okay, okay. Hmm. I ask you try to compare, but then I do it for you. Okay, never mind. Okay. So what is the next slide? Um, where is my slide? Okay, this is my slide. Okay. Uh, okay. Okay, it's explained there. Actually, it's very direct. Okay, and then if signal of example 1 are added together, okay, this is what we have. Okay, this is what we have, C1 and C2 whatsoever. Okay, if signal of example 1 are added together to form the input. Okay. If signal of example 1 are added together to form the input to the system. Okay. 2 and 5. Okay, this one is you guys can understand. Just now is actually in can I back? Okay, just now is actually in unknowns. C1, C2. Then they put C1 is actually 2 and C2 is actually 5. Okay, and actually just the same. Okay, we just plug in the value actually here. We just plug it inside. Okay, this one is actually the general to make you understand. This one they put the value. Okay, they put the value. So I think it's still the same. If we desire the system output to be, okay, we desire the system output to be yt equals to 3 cos 800 pi t. So if you notice this is your xt. Okay, this is your xt. This is the result from the square law device. However, the yt is actually the output. The real output means if you want if you want the output, the final output is not the real. Means doesn't mean it's not real, or unreal. This means the final output with 800 pi t. So if you can see the signal or x omega here, okay, this one is xt in time domain. This one is x in omega domain. If they want the signal in low frequency, then what you should do? You should introduce low pass filter or high pass filter. If this signal xt consists of 800 pi, 100, 2000, and 2000, and then they only require 800 pi t, 800 pi. So what kind of filter that we need to introduce? Is it low pass filter or high pass filter? Okay, Chitong, thank you. So we only means that it needs a low pass filter. Why? Because we want to filter out. You see here, there is 1200, there is 2000. We want to filter this. So that's why we require, okay, this one I already teach you, right? How to actually obtain this gain filter. Okay, so it's actually, we require then 3 pi this function of filters. Okay, this one you can cos 800 pi. This one you can refer to the table. Okay, you will get this one. Okay, you get this one in pi whatever in the impulse. Then you have pi function. then this is 3 here. Okay, because this is the required output. Okay, how I'm going to do it. Okay, wait for a while. Okay, this one. Okay, in order for you to know what is the A here is 3 for this case. Okay, so output minus input. So you can see your outputs 800 pi. Where is the 800 pi? You can see here is 10. Okay, here is okay, wait. So you can see how I'm going to, okay, never mind, I use this space. Okay, this is your sorry, I need to see again the screen. Okay. What the question say? If we did system output, so this is your YT, or you can later on put your Y omega. Okay, YT, and this is your XT as a result of the square wave, square law device, and this one is your transfer function. We call it transfer function. Okay. Okay. So what kind of filter you need? You need HE filter, actually low pass filters. Okay. So, but if you notice our signal, okay, okay, partly true, Chintong, because I forget there is 2 signal. Okay, so because we want to actually eliminate this other 2 frequency, you can see here, which is 2000 and 1200. So we actually need to introduce band pass filters, or you can see if some case maybe you need band stop filters. So for this one you need the band pass filter, mean it only allow 800 and not and frequency around it. Okay, but not 2000 and 1200. So is it already example? Okay, I mean, is it already in the slide? If it's in the slide, I don't waste my time to draw. Okay, so if you see here, this one I ask you guys, you guys can try. Okay, what is the gain of filters? Okay, so that I ask you, you try figure out yourself, because to try to help you to actually think. So if you see, we have this 0.8, we have 1.2, 2, and 0.4, for example. But we want only frequency that is 0.8. Okay, we want frequency which is only 0.8. So we don't want this. And we also don't want this. Okay, so we need to introduce in this case is okay, I don't know whether you're going to learn this or not, but like band pass filter, for example, band pass filter is like a combination of low pass filter and high pass filter. That's why I say to Chintong, she is partly true. Okay, but in this syllabus you only learn about that kind of filters, high pass filter, band pass filter, band stop filter, what else? Only that. Okay, but actually this is actually combination. Okay, so you see here, for here you need to introduce a low pass filter. Okay, and you need to introduce high pass filter, but you don't learn this in this subject. But we just make a conclusion, it is a band pass filter. Okay, you need to introduce band pass filter which have frequency lower than 1.2, because we don't want 1.2. You see here, 1.2 is in kilo. Okay, see the scale. So it's not 1.2. 1.2 is actually 1.2 pi k radian per second. So it's actually 1200. Okay, so so we need to introduce band pass filter in order to only allow this frequency. Okay, so you can see it doesn't accept 0.4. That's why we suggest it to be 0.6. and it must be below than 1.2, which can be your pi. Okay, this is the gain of your filters. Okay, but I ask here, but how you get it? Okay, ask yourself how you get it. Okay, you see this is 10 pi. Okay, if as your G3. Oh, okay. Never mind. You try first. Okay, you try first. How you actually get this gain filter, because I already explained just now, right? How you get the filter gain. Okay, how is the process? Then in the end, okay, this is your output. Okay, because once you actually filter out, you only receive 10 pi here. Okay, you only receive 10 pi after the filtration. You will only have 10 pi. You only have 0.8. Then you only have 10 pi of signals. Okay, after the filters. But this one is 10 pi. When it undergo the filter, means 10.10 pi times by 0.3. Okay, then you get your 3 pi. Okay, it seems like indirectly I actually already answer my own question. Okay, so that's why. Okay, so you need to take into account. So this one, sometimes this one doesn't really appear. I worry in question you ignore this one. Sometimes we have. Okay, and then the amplitude modulation. Okay, amplitude modulation, an important technique. Okay, this one I already explained. Okay, carrier signal. This one is a message. We can call it message signal. We can call it information signal. You can call it audio signal, whatever. As long as it's actually information signals. Signal that contain information. That's why the word information signal. You can tell it message signal, audio signal, whatsoever. Okay. Then this is your carrier and this is your mixer. Okay, and this one is actually in the the results mixing with the carrier. Okay, this one I already explained why we need to do amplitude modulation in the beginning of the class. Okay, information signal to be transmitted MT is multiplied to a carrier. Okay, this one I also did just. Okay, to carrier with higher frequency. Okay, so imagine that if your signal, okay, this one is xt, if as your output is equals to mt cos omega ct. So mt is actually the message. Okay, now you didn't know yet what is your message, right? You don't know what is your message, right, yet. And then cos is actually ej omega. This one is, you know how you get this? Do you know how you get this? This thing. Do you guys remember or not how you get this? What law do you, what rule do you use to get this? Google Chat, can you respond to me? I don't want to keep feeding. What is this? Okay, it's Euler theorem. So if I use sin omega ct, what will be 2? What is the denominator here? Is it 2 or what? If I use sin omega ct, what happened to this? Okay, good. It's 2j. Actually, not happen to my class. Because my class last time, even no Aisha Amira say it correct and I say it's wrong. Okay, I remember no Aisha Amira name since then. J. Do you guys know what is the J value? I know, but because last time I'm flu, but this is a lecturer, other lecturers say the student didn't know. Do you know what is the value of J? Okay, good. Okay, Alhamdulillah, I'm happy with my class because you guys know. Okay, because because it's happened to other lecturer in other section. Even to get this J, the student actually press calculator. Oh my god, then very not very funny. It's very pity, J is actually square root. Square root of -1. Good that you guys know, but this is happened to other section because the lecturer mentioned to us actually when she asked the student about the J, Even the J student press calculator. Likely my student know. Oh, okay. Likely my student actually know it, even to correct me last time. Mana Noasha Hamira ni? Can you say hi there in Google Chat, because I keep mentioning your name. Okay. So yes, I see that. Okay, then you see your half here and empty. Okay, and you see here, and then when we convert to frequency domain, you will have the capital letter. Make sure when you write it properly. So this will be X, bigger capital, then you have half M omega minus omega C. This one actually you get from the table. Okay, then you actually obtain your output. Okay, you obtain your output, which is the X omega. Okay, you can see here is actually AC over 2. Okay, this is the amplitude, and this is your signal resulted. Okay, this one is actually omega plus omega C, and this one is actually omega minus omega C, and of course omega C is in the middle. Okay, in the middle. Okay. Am I missing something here? Wait for a while. Wait, I want to see. I think I'm missing something. Wait, modulation. It's not I'm missing something. Is that oh, okay. I think it's okay. Okay, then you have your half. Then you have omega B. Then you have this one. Okay, this is your results of your signal X omega. Okay, it's not I'm missing something. It's actually I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking of demodulation while I'm talking about modulation. Can you imagine my head? What happened in my head? It's like Roja already. So this modulated signal will be transmitted through a transmitter. So this one, I think this one is I help you guys to imagine first. Okay. When we have signals, okay, you have here is the transmitter. This is your receiver, transmitter, and your receiver. Okay. When you go send signal, okay, you need to modulate first. Modulate. Then when the signal go to your receiver, it need to be demodulate. Means we need to retrieve back this information signal. Means that just now we mix it with something for it to be carried out over wirelessly over distances. Then we need to demodulate it, because we want to retrieve back this information signal. Means we need to remove. We need to remove the carrier and so on. Okay, even the noise we need to remove in order for us to actually retrieve the information. For example, if your information signal is like this, we want to actually when we demodulate and actually we remove the noise, we want to try to actually retrieve back the original information signal. Maybe the amplitude can be different. Maybe actually initially this is 1, but later on when it retrieve, it becomes 0.5. It's still okay, but because the shape is still there, but we want to retrieve the signal first. Then we can actually use amplifier whatsoever. For this one is maybe amplifier with a gain 2, so that you get the same signal 1, okay, which is the same as your information signal original. So your this one, but at least after we receive a receiver, we demodulate and remove noise. Then at least we have this shape, which is the almost the same shape as the original information signal. It may be weak in amplitude whatsoever. We can use amplifier later on. Okay. This one I asked to show to student, and I forget to show. This one is from the table. Okay, this is amplitude demodulation. Okay, you can see here now. This is at the receiver part. Okay, we try to retrieve our information signals. Okay, then we introduce again this our carrier frequency. Okay, because we want to demodulate them. The received signal xt will be multiplied with the carrier signal, the one that we use in the modulation state. Now we use again at the modulation state, to produce the signal yt. To get back the information signal, the signal y omega, which is yt in frequency domain has to pass through low pass filter with given transfer function. So transfer function is the h, your filter function. Okay. So if you see this signal is xt pass through omega cos omega t. So that's why you have here xt cos omega t, which is resulted through the mixing of this information signal with the carrier. You get the yt, okay, which is this one. Okay, then you get your y omega, which is this one, which referred from your table. Okay, refer from your table how you get it. Okay, and then you get the y omega is actually half m omega. Okay, this is actually your message. Okay, your message. Okay, message m omega plus half plus quarter m omega, and then omega here. Okay. Okay, can you then you see that actually you have your is there any something missing with the signals? When I want to see xt. Okay, no, nothing missing. Okay, so then you have this one. Then you actually get your spectrum. You get your spectrum is half. This is your y omega, half m omega, and you get 1/4. Okay, then you get your 1/4. This is your 1/4. Okay. Then this is your transfer function. You know how to get your transfer function, right? It's actually the gain. The gain here is actually the gain. I ask you. I try. Okay. Now I ask you, and I don't want to tell you, because just now I keep on asking, and then I keep on answering my own question. Actually, how you get is actually just simple. Input times by the gain equals to input times the gain of the transfer function or the gain of the filter. The same, transfer function is a filter, equals to output. Okay, to get your message signal, your m. Okay, this is your output now. Okay, so here, okay, spectrum of information signals. Okay, and then you will remove this two other frequency, and then you actually obtain your original signal. This is your original signal, right? The omega is actually this one. If you see from the original, here, this is your original signal that you want to send through wirelessly, okay, or over whatever. Okay, then you retrieve back these signals. Okay, I think this one is you will more understand if you try to actually do your own. Okay, do your own. Try to demonstrate it to get it. Okay. What else? So remember, the question can ask you maybe to ask you to actually modulate back. Okay, demodulate back the signal that once transmitted. Okay. So this is exercise. Not sure we'll ask you to do, what is this? Linear time invariant system used in valve control is shown below. The system is said to be injected with the input signal xt. Okay, it was noted that the feedback signal, okay, obtain the Fourier transform of the input signals. Okay, this one I ask you try to do yourself. Okay. This one seems like a 5 sync here, h omega. Okay, Fourier transform or the, okay, this one is Fourier transform. You just transform the Fourier transform or the output signal is actually Fourier transform. Okay, means this one is x and convo, but because it is in omega frequency, if you in omega frequency, so it's just like multiplication. Multiplication 5 pi sync, just multiply with this. Okay. And then what it want? Sketch the output signal. Oh, this one is just sketch. So this one actually multiply by this one. But you change this first. You change this first to omega. Okay. Okay. you see here, this one is not in omega, so you need to change first. And this one is already in omega. So x omega times h1 omega to get y omega. Okay. I give some hint. Because okay, this one is for exercise Q. Figure to see below show a transmitter receiver system. Okay, you see here is transmitter receiver system. So you have transmitter and you have the receiver. Okay, if you see the signals, if you can see the signal, obviously this one is transmitter. Okay, this one is receiver. Not because one is at the left, one is at the right. I don't want student to keep assuming transmitter at the left and receiver at the right. Don't keep assuming like that, because you may get, for example, if you get final question and actually they change the order, then you are in trouble. If you keep assuming transmitter is on the left, because in real life you don't always have transmitter on the left, right? Depends on your position. So you need to know the process. Okay, if it's the transmitter, means the signal going through a mixer with a carrier, then passing through a some transfer function, okay, to submit this to send the signal. And at the receiver is actually the receive signal will be put the carrier, and actually we will have a transfer function, and we have this. You should know, just to differentiate. It look the same, almost look the same, but not much the same. Okay, so figure 2.6 below show a transmitter receiver having an input signal xt. The Fourier transform xt is given in figure QD. Okay, this one is the Fourier transform of xt, means this one is actually your message signal. Signal GT is an signal GT is an ideal low pass filter. This one is ideal low pass filter GT. So you need to G omega with a cutoff frequency is already given, cutoff frequency omega c and gain 1. So if gain 1, I'm not sure, I forget what is the term. We can call it there is a name, I forget. Actually I forget. There is a filter is actually 1. Wait, because the question can give you and you don't say what you said. I forget the name, but if the term we can one. Wait, I'm Google because I forget. I forget the term. If I know many second, there is a filter. There is a term. Maybe you guys can check, or maybe I will check later on. I forget. Because question can ask you. They say Abu. For example, filter A, and the A I forget the term. That filter means that the filter have gain 1. Okay, but because the question didn't say gain 1, but it will use the name. I forget the name. Because if I read the question and I know, okay, I know it's gain 1. Okay. But I hope the question will not be too cruel to you. They will say gain. If they use the name and then you didn't know the name. Wait. Okay, never mind. Okay. Okay, BT is the output signal. You see here, BT is the output signal from your modulation. Okay, from the transmitter system that is then received by the receiver system, which is your by the receiver system. This is HT. HT is an ideal high pass filter with cutoff frequency of omega c and gain 1. So the question is good. It's mentioned all. So then what is the question 1? You sketch a spectrum of A omega, B omega, D omega, Y omega. Where is ABCD? So A here, B here, C here, and D here. And mentioned here is in omega. So don't get confused. Means you need to Fourier transform all the signals into the frequency counterpart, frequency domain. then design a system, receiver system, in order to get the spectrum of Y new here, showing here. Okay, this one is actually the Y new. Where is the Y new? Here. Okay, this is your Y new. Okay, we want to get these signals now. Okay, to do this, determine the new mathematical expression of signal. You know, right? The mathematical expression. The mathematical expression is all the mathematics. Okay, and draw the new spectrum of H new. Your answer must also show the new spectrum of D new. D new. This one. Okay. Oh, it's good question. You guys can do. Okay, you guys can do. Because you already at 540. Okay, you guys can do this, because this is final question. This one is final. I'm not sure which year is this. And then exercise 2, input signal for the circuit in figure A is given as xt 5 cos 10t. Where is the input? Here. Okay, so you can see here is 5 cos t. Then you see here is t, is time domain. You need to Fourier transform it. And then you have cos 50t. Then you have AT, means A omega. Okay, then this is your system, okay, in figure A. Then you have your YT. So you see here is actually H1 omega transfer function. Okay, this one is another transfer function. So if the frequency response H1 and H2 were given by figure B, where is the figure B? Okay, disappear the figure B. Okay, and figure C. Oh, okay. Where is the figure? Okay. I need to look. Oh, missing information from the slide. Okay, this one nothing can do because it's gone. But later on I will try to search for it because I need to see which year of this question. Then I need to copy paste the missing information. So determine the function for filter H1 and H omega. Find the output. Okay, we see here the question here. Okay, mentioned here. You see, you need to careful. It's not always A omega it's not always frequency domain that they want. You see here they want the time domain. So make sure you read the question carefully. Sketch the amplitude spectrum for every output. So if we want to sketch the amplitude spectrum, is it time domain or frequency domain? Okay, this one you ask yourself. Okay. Okay, and then if the circuit in dotted lines, okay, if the circuit in dotted line of both is figured to replace with only one filter with transfer function H3 omega. Okay, so this one nothing you guys can do because you didn't have the complete figure. Sorry for that. Okay. And then chapter 1 part 1. Okay, we finish with the lecture. I just want to continue discuss a bit about